Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT and welcome back to another Madden 19 experiment on the channel. Today's experiment is an idea as suggested by you guys. Now, if you're the individual that specifically suggested this, I apologize. I don't know who you are. I saw it, I wrote it down in my notes, and I can't find your comment. So that was you. I love you. I love you a lot. But today's idea is something we've kind of done in the past, but not this specific. As you see in the title, today we're going to see what the heck happens if you release the NFL top 100 players all into free agency. Now, I'll link the list in the description box below. I did a reaction video on the NFL top 100 players for 2018. And that's just the list I went by for today's video. So if you want to see every single player I did release in a free agency, you can go look at the link in the description box below. And you can also see the top 100 list. But it's going to be super interesting. My light had just turned off. There's a ghost. I named him Philip. And he's messing with my brain because I'm trying to record a video. And he's turning out my lights. Let me get up and turn my light back on. But hopefully you guys do enjoy today's experiment video. And if you do, make sure to drop a like. Let's smash 2,000 likes for more experiments on the channel. If you want to see the other experiments I've done on the channel already, there is a link in the top description box below. And also, I do want to warn you guys, but you guys know, I'm starting a series tomorrow called Real Life Fridays, where every single Friday I do like a challenge video, a vlog, something like that. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. That will be every single Friday. And hopefully the first rendition of this series will be out tomorrow. But with that said, dudes, I do want to show you every single player that was released into free agency. And there's also a couple interesting tidbits I can throw out there as well when it comes to comparing the NFL Top 100 to some of the players overall wise in Madden. Now, there's a ton of 99 overalls across the board that did get released, so you can see all of this right here. Now, it's going to be crazy to see what teams actually do pick up these players. A ton of quarterbacks have been released into free agency, but the most interesting thing about this is the fact that there is a lot of players that you do not see in the top 100 free agents that was on the list. You have guys like Julius Thomas, Robert Ayers Jr., Jonathan Hankins, all higher overall than some of the players that's actually in the NFL top 100. First of all, go into the quarterback position, look at some of the players that are free agents that wasn't in the actual top 100 free agents. You have guys like Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and Deshaun Watson, and Case Keenum. Case Keenum, an 81 overall player, I think is number 60 in the NFL top 100, or roughly around 60. Now, there's a lot of running backs that also wasn't in the top 100 free agents. You have, I think it might have just been one, it was Carlos Hyde. But I did want to show you an interesting tidbit, the fact that the lowest overall player in the NFL top 100 that was released in free agency was 81 overall Bruce Irvin. He's listed as one of the NFL's top 100 players, but yet in Madden, he's an 81 overall and lower overall than two old fellas that's still listed as free agents in real life. Now, the other interesting tidbit was the fact that there was two players over 95 overall that was not listed in the NFL top 100. First of all, being the New York Giant, that is no other than their defensive tackle, Damon Harrison Sr., if we can ever get to him. 95 overall, team captain, not even in the NFL top 100. Now, next player, the last player I will show you guys, this one really surprised me, and that is none other than Eric Berry, 96 overall, one of the highest rated players in the game, not even in the NFL top 100. Absolutely mental. So, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below which player in this top 100 list should not be in the NFL top 100. Keep in mind, this isn't me. This is the actual official NFL top 100 as per NFL Network, I believe. But with that said, dudes, we're gonna go ahead and sim to the regular season and see if any of these free agents are actually still free agents, and if not, we're gonna go see what teams made some crazy signings. So, looking in free agency, there is still a ton of awesome players that have not even been signed. We simmed the whole entire preseason, and you're telling me no NFL team wants to sign Todd Gurley, Michael Thomas, Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, Alvin Kamara, Jarvis Landry, or Yannick Ngakoue? Like, they signed the lowest overall player, but nobody wants Todd Gurley, and Michael Thomas, and Kareem Hunt. All these super young players. Interesting scenes. They'll probably get picked up by the end of the season. You know what? Let me go ahead. I'm going to sim one more week and see if these players get picked up, because that is absolutely mental. So going into free agency, a couple of them got picked up at least. But still, the fact that these guys are still available, I mean, I'm sure some team will pick them up eventually, but the fact that they've had 5 weeks to get those guys just out of free agency and then nobody signed them, absolutely insane. The one thing I was worried about is using the Browns. Although I turned everything on to auto, it still looks like we did not make any free agency signings. But let's look over some of these rosters and see what team made the most moves. We'll also be able to see what players do better in different schemes. But Buccaneers looks like they signed Sean Lee. They signed Todd Gurley, so they just signed Todd Gurley. Mike Evans was already on there, and that Clinton Dix was signed by the Buccaneers. Looks like that is it. The Cardinals look like they picked. Why would they pick up Zeke? Zeke? They don't need him. They have David Johnson. Now this makes literally 0 sense. They also signed Ryan Shazier, Matthew Stafford. So this one, I'm gonna be interested to see what teams actually picked up positions that they actually needed. Like the Cardinals filled a need, but then they just wasted money on Ezekiel Elliott. But they did sign Matthew Stafford, Taylor Lewan. So it looks like they made some pretty big signings here. Moving on to the Chargers, they pick up Calais Campbell to replace Joey Bosa, who they did lose. Looks like they signed Cam Newton, and that looks like it is it. Moving on to the Chiefs, I was about to say they re-signed Eric Berry. They didn't. They signed Leonard Fournette. They signed Kyle Rudolph. And that looks like it for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Colts pick up Aaron Rodgers to start. Gosh dang. They pick up Aaron Rodgers, Khalil Mack, Mike Daniels, and Chris Harris, Marcus Peters. They have a whole new freaking team. So, like, why pick up Aaron Rodgers? I mean, obviously, he's a better player than Andrew Luck in the game and in real life. But anyways, like, still, I didn't think they'd actually pick him up, and that looks like that is it for the Colts. The Colts making the biggest signings thus far. The Cowboys replacing Tyrone Smith with David Bakhtiari. They re-signed Zach Martin. They signed Levante David, Le'Veon Bell, Zach Ertz. So they made some big signings. The Dolphins pick up... it looks like Dolphins didn't pick up anybody. Poor Dolphins. Probably going to have one of the worst records in the NFL. Anyways, the Eagles, they look like they signed CJ Mosley, and that is it. The Eagles take a huge freaking hit. They hardly re-sign any of their best players. The Falcons pick up Malcolm Jenkins. They also, crazy that Desmond Trufant and Deion Jones were in the top 100. They signed Casey Hayward, and it looks like that is it. Moving on to the 49ers. They didn't pick up anybody either. Poor 49ers. Why did some of these teams not pick up anybody? So here's it doesn't make any sense. Giants pick up Ndamukong Suh on top of Damon Harrison Sr. Also pick up Marshawn Lattimore, Cameron Wake, and that looks like that's a crazy bit of signings. Really interested to see if like any projected bad team ends up doing really well because they made a ton of free agency signings. But the Jags, with that sick defense already, pick up Luke Kuechly and DeMarcus Lawrence to add to it. Although they did lose a lot of players. Also signed Thomas Davis Sr. And that looks like it for the Jags. The Jets pick up Jimmy Graham. They still suck. That's all they picked up was Jimmy Graham. Like the Jets, I expected to pick up somebody, but nah, only one player. The Lions, they pick up AJ Bouye. They pick up Big Ben to replace Matt Stafford. Looks like that is it for the Lions. Now on to the Packers. Who do they get to replace Aaron Rodgers? They get Aaron Donald, Cameron Jordan, Geno Atkins. So their D-line is completely different. Pick up Andrew Whitworth to replace David Bakhtiari, Kevin Byard to replace Clinton Dix. Looks like they pick up Jared Goff. So they did get a quarterback to replace Aaron Rodgers. Jonathan Cyprian ended up on the Packers, but he wasn't in the NFL Top 100. But that looks like it is for the Packers. The Panthers pick up Bobby Wagner to replace Luke Kuechly, Micah Hyde, Jadeveon Clowney, Tyreek Hill, and Deshaun Watson to replace Cam Newton. The Patriots pick up Harrison Smith, Odell Beckham. Just imagine Tom Brady with Odell Beckham Jr. Kelvin Smith, Russell Wilson. So they had some big signings, so expect them to have a pretty good year, although they did lose Tom Brady. Moving on to the Raiders, they pick up Everson Griffin. That is it. So look for them. They pick up Jimmy G to replace Derek Carr, but they're just probably not going to have a good year. I might miss a player here or there, but I mean, it is what it is. The Rams pick up Trent Williams, Drew Brees, and Dalvin Cook. So they lost a lot of players, made a couple signings. The Ravens pick up Travis Frederick, and that's it for them too, it looks like. So poor Ravens, probably going to have a bad year. The Redskins, they pick up Landon Collins, and that once again looks like is it. So one signing for the Redskins. The Saints pick up Gronk and JJ Watt, and to replace Drew Brees, it looks like they didn't sign anybody. Their quarterback is Matt Moore, so that sucks for them. The Seahawks pick up Devonta Freeman, Derek Carter replaced Russell Wilson, and that looks like it's it for them too. The Steelers, they had a lot of players leave. They pick up Jarrell Casey, Phillip Rivers. That's it for the Steelers. And a couple of teams to go. The Texans pick up Tom Brady. So Tom Brady goes to the Houston Texans. They pick up Joey Bosa to replace JJ Watt. So a lot of this is pretty freaking interesting to see where players, like what players replace players that left. The Titans, my Titans would pick up Linval Joseph. Poor Titans. Looks like that's all we freaking did. And oh, that's just not really good. But last but not least, the Minnesota Vikings pick up Chandler Jones, Matt Ryan, and that looks like it's it for the Minnesota Vikings. The Bengals, I guess we didn't get to see some teams. The Bengals picked up Von Miller, Keenan Allen, Lane Johnson, Doug Baldwin, Devontae Adams. Hot darn, they picked up a ton of players. The Bills pick up Jalen Ramsey, David DeCastro, Fletcher Cox, Delaney Walker. Wow, Cam Chancellor. That's a good team. That is a pretty good freaking team. Last but not least, the Denver Broncos, they pick up Travis Kelce, Carson Wentz, and that is it. So some crazy signings. The NFL Top 100 has been signed, minus a couple players that are still in free agency, and the completely redone NFL looks like we didn't make the playoffs because we didn't sign anybody, but we still went 7-9. The Bengals, who made a ton of signings, go 8-8. The best record in the NFL ends up going to the New England Patriots. Even though they lost Tom Brady and Gronk, they still have the best record. The Cowboys go 11-5. Chargers go 12-4. The Giants and Bills have crazy years. Texans with Tom Brady barely made the playoffs. The Seahawks barely made the playoffs as well. The Eagles, reigning Super Bowl champions, did not even make the playoffs. A lot of teams went 8-8. And any real surprises? The Saints, because they didn't re-sign Drew Brees. The Jets, I didn't even expect to get that many wins. And the worst record goes to the 49ers, who I've seen actually end up the first season with like a 15-1 record before. And they go 3-13, but they did lose their quarterback, Jimmy G, and they really did not even freaking re-sign anybody. And the Steelers, they still had some good players. They had Phillip Rivers, so I don't know why they did so bad. But some shocks in the NFL completely redone. So what player ended up having a huge year, being in a whole new team? Russell Wilson wins the MVP with the Patriots. I should have known. Cam Newton, with some actually decent receivers in LA, comes in third place. Dante Hightower, dog, what the heck? I have Case Keenum, like one of the lowest overall players in this NFL Top 100 with the Bears, make the top 10. No Tom Brady, but dog, how did Dante freaking Hightower? No wonder he won the MVP. 50 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's mental. Odell Beckham Jr. had a big year, but Julian Edelman had 18 touchdowns. But dog, what did Dante do? Dante Hightower had 20 sacks. That's a pretty good season. It's a pretty good season, but yet I say that. I've seen people get like 30 sacks in a season when I do like edited videos with edited ratings, and like they don't make the top 10, but so that's just freaking interesting. So looking at the passing leaders, Russell Wilson by far like blew out everybody, but this is kind of interesting. Marcus Mariota comes in second, but there seems like there's a lot more quarterbacks, or quarterbacks have a lot more yardage than what they did in this simulation. Maybe because they're on a different team with a different scheme. I don't know, but that's still a lot of interceptions. Where is Tom Brady? As you get to see some of the rest of the stats, Tom Brady, I mean, it's a good year. 31 touchdowns, 4 picks. Going into the rushing yard leader, Le'Veon Bell on the Cowboys with 1,700 yards. David Johnson on the Cardinals with 1,600. Todd Gurley did go to the Bucks. I wonder, we're going to look at receiving yards. Julian Edelman led in reception. The receiving yards goes to Julian Edelman too, so he's still a beast no matter who his quarterback is. And he led in touchdowns too. That's pretty freaking mental. But anyways, last thing I do want to check before we see who wins the Super Bowl, I do want to see, by chance, are any of those top 100 players still free agents, or do they get signed by they all got signed? Which they should have. If they didn't, this game will be a little bit crazier than what I already thought it was. And it looks like the Minnesota Vikings actually ended up defeating the Patriots, who had the best record in the NFL, to take home this Super Bowl 29-26. So hopefully guys did enjoy today's Madden 19 experiment, and if you did, make sure to drop a like. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes on today's video. Be sure to subscribe if you are new, turn on the notification bell if you haven't. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. God bless and peace.